Alright everyone, I'm at the mall at Green Hills, somewhere in the Nashville area, and this is the first time in probably several decades that I can recall being at a mall that is so busy you literally can't find parking, and it's not even a holiday. Maybe I'm just on the wrong side of the mall, but this area over here, the parking was just crazy. I must have circled around for like at least 10 or 15 minutes, which I can't remember a mall like that in recent history. Usually there's just a vast amount of empty parking. So let's head inside the mall at Green Hills in Nashville, Tennessee. I wasn't actually expecting to cover this mall, I just kind of happened to stumble upon it while I was in the area. Well, we're going to go over the mall's history and do something a little bit different because there's been some things that are on my mind pertaining to recent events throughout the United States that have just been bothering me, and they do relate to retail in a way, so we're going to also talk about those during this video. But first, the mall's history. Developed by Harold Carter, the mall at Green Hills was one of the first of its kind in Nashville, Tennessee. The mall would begin in 1955 as an open-air strip center known as Green Hills Village. By the time the 1970s rolled around, many open-air shopping malls were being converted into enclosed malls. And the mall at Green Hills was no exception, as this was the time when it would be converted from an open-air shopping mall to an enclosed one. Up until about 1987, the mall had just been kind of ordinary. You know, having all of your ordinary mall stores catering to just the average person. But in 1987, the mall would undergo a significant renovation and expansion, transforming it into a more upscale shopping destination. This would include the addition of new retail spaces and amenities, positioning the mall to attract higher-end retailers. In 2000, the addition of a Nordstrom store was a major milestone for the mall, solidifying its status as a premier shopping destination in Nashville. This expansion also included an updated food court and more retail space. Another significant expansion would happen in 2004, adding more high-end stores and further solidifying the mall's reputation for luxury shopping. We're already well into the 2000s, and we haven't had any mention of stores leaving and closing up for good. We haven't had any vacancy rates, and that's because this mall has just always been on fire to my knowledge. From doing my research, I don't think this mall ever had a downtime. It's just been success after success after success. Completely, totally different from the malls I normally cover here on this channel, and maybe that's a good thing because, you know, it can get really depressing just seeing dead mall after dead mall, and I know it's kind of like a vibe that people enjoy, like going through these liminal spaces, but it's just kind of nice and refreshing to see what shopping used to be at every single mall in America. So as we've been seeing, we're going to continue to see growth and modernization here at the mall at Green Hills, because in 2012 it would undergo another major renovation, which would include the construction of a new multi-level parking garage and the addition of new retailers such as the Container Store and the first Tennessee location of the Apple Store. So when was the last mall you went to that was actually undergoing a renovation and or expansion? And what year was it in? Because I guarantee you it was well before the year 2000. Leave a comment down below because I'd like to know the last time you were at a mall that was actually having an expansion and renovation and what year it was. 2016 would see the addition of a new wing that would bring even more luxury brands to the mall, including a restoration hardware store. This expansion would also include a complete renovation of the mall's common areas to modernize them and make its look and feel appeal to the luxury shopper. Some of the more recent developments at the mall would be in 2018, when the mall would announce the addition of several new retailers, further expanding its selection of luxury and specialty stores. This period also saw the renovation of existing stores to keep up with modern retail trends. Despite the challenges posed by the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic, the mall would continue to thrive, adapting to new health and safety guidelines to ensure the safety of its shoppers and staff during this time. The mall maintained its high occupancy rate and continued to attract top-tier retailers. And, this is something that I don't believe very many malls can say. I mean, the COVID-19 pandemic was the downfall of many major malls here in the United States. I often cite 3 time periods when we just saw mall after mall close, and that would be the early 2000s, and then the 2008-2009 recession, and the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic. So as of 2024, the mall at Green Hills remains one of the premier shopping destinations in Nashville. It boasts a wide range of luxury retailers, dining options, and services, continuing to attract both locals and tourists. The mall's focus on high-end shopping experiences, combined with regular updates and renovations, has been ensuring its ongoing appeal and relevance in the competitive retail market. So I want you to realize that I was visiting this mall on a Monday in the middle of the day when everyone should be at work. So when I say it's busy, this is busy for the middle of a work day, especially compared to a lot of malls that would have literally hardly anyone in them. Okay, you guys, I think it's time that we have a little bit of a chat since I stumbled upon this really, really fancy shopping mall here in the Nashville area. It's kind of gotten me to think a little bit deeper on the state of this country and what's going on within this country. And I know this will all tie back into retail because I still want to keep this, retail focused because we are here documenting a mall, albeit a very bougie mall, okay? So let me kind of collect my thoughts together. Okay, so people say that the economy is bad and people are broke. But how is a place like this that has Gucci and Saint Laurent and all of these fashion brands that will cost you literally hundreds to thousands of dollars for one item, how is this place so busy? I mean, there is Tiffany and Company. Are people just racking up more and more and more credit? I mean, I've heard that that's kind of a problem, but...
The U.S. economy has been on recession watch for months now. And so far, the all-important American consumer has been holding strong, keeping those recession forecasts from becoming true.
Consumer is still spending.
Consumer is in better shape. If they have money, they're going to spend it.
Consumers continuing to be resilient.
The consumer health has been resilient so far this year.
Consumer resilience is about to be tested. Americans now carry more than $1 trillion in credit card debt going into the holiday shopping season.
Balance is climbing to a record high of over $1 trillion.
$1.1 trillion.
More than $1 trillion. That's how much it would take to get Americans out of credit card debt right now.
And this is part of the problem with our country, and that is the fact that despite the fact that people are struggling to make ends meet, they can't pay their bills, they are just racking up tons and tons of credit card debt coming to places like this. How many people here, take a guess, how many people here do you think are actually paying for things with a debit card or cash where they can just literally pay for it and then it's just done? I guarantee you most everyone here is shopping with credit and making payments on it. So as of recent, more and more younger people and even some older people are just giving up on working.
I cannot stand how the news has been dogging Gen Z and calling them lazy for not wanting to work a 9-to-5 for the rest of their lives. Let me put it in perspective for everybody who's a little confused here, okay? I work 5 days out of the week, 40 hours a week, okay? I do not make enough to live on my own. I would not make enough to pay rent, water, electric, and eat. All by myself. I would not be capable of doing that. 20 years ago when you were getting started, you could live on your own. 20 years ago when you first started, you were able to do everything that I am now struggling to do. Let me add another perspective here. You've been working for 20 years. You have 20 years of working experience behind your belt. You have 20 years of experience in a career that has allowed you to gain raises, to get more money, to profit you in an economy that you created. You could sit here and you can call Gen Z lazy all you want, but I've been working my tail end off just to barely make it by. And respectfully, I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. I don't want to work my tail end off, wasting all of my life working just to barely be able to pay my bills.
So this is going to all tie together, I promise. So the reason that they're giving up on working is just there's no purpose in their work. The pay can't pay for their bills. So in other words, the salary that they're making is not enough to even afford the basic necessities like cars, clothing, food. And I'm talking about not fancy ones, just bare minimum. And I'm even feeling that struggle too. So and it's just companies in general that you're working for just don't give a crap about you anymore. And people are just tired of being treated like machines or robots. Just do more, do more, do more. And yet you're never given a bigger paycheck. There's no reward for it. And it's just, work has just become meaningless and pointless. So a lot of people are just quitting and giving up. Not quite sure how they're going to survive or pay their bills. I know a lot of people have turned to other means of, work. And I've tried that and it just hasn't worked out working for myself. I'm trying to do the YouTube thing, but that's not working out financially very well, but I'm going to continue doing it because it's my passion, is to film and document things and be a creative person. So anyways, so this ties back into, if people are quitting their jobs and giving up on their jobs and just work in general, how is a place like this so busy? I mean, look around. There's a Chanel store back there. We've got Everything But Water is up there. There's Aritza that's downstairs. Let's see, there it is. Aritza, I think is how you say that. There's Aveda. All of these stores are very expensive, and we're coming up here on, what is this, Michael Kors or something? I don't know. Marc Jacobs, that's what it is. We're coming up on Marc Jacobs, which is even more expensive. All of these stores, all the items in these stores are like hundreds of dollars per item. To even some of them are thousands of dollars per item. And I just wonder how, if everyone is quitting their jobs, how is a place like this surviving? Okay, furthermore, I'm not poor, but I'm not wealthy. I'm squeaking by, in a decent house, a nice house, need a new car, to be real, but God is providing for me, okay? That's the key to all of this, is if you have God in your life and your life is God focused, then you will succeed. Maybe not very well, but you will succeed. And at some point, I just know I'm going to have the breakthrough, and things are just going to click into place, and I'll be making a real decent living here. But places like this are just fueling the stupid capitalist economy, because, I look and I go, why would I pay $1,000 for a pair of shoes when I can just go get a $50 pair of shoes that are just as good? I don't understand. I don't care how much money I had. I would not support any of these places. And this place has very, very few what I would consider normal stores. Like there's an Express down here. That's kind of a normal, mall store that you might see at your local mall. Most everything here, though, I can't even afford to walk into the place. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I know I'm going to be kind of ranting here, but it's just been bothering me lately. The downward spiral that this country is taking, and the 1% elite people that run all the corporations, mainly the like BlackRock and there's Golden something or other, all the there's three. Now I'm blanking on what they're called. I'll put it up on the screen. It's just this country cannot survive any longer on the concept of gotta make more, and eventually the American consumer just is not going to have any more money to give. And we're seeing, people beginning to fight back with stores being looted and robbed.
A spike in shoplifting in New York City. The NYPD says it hasn't seen levels like this since 1995.
While retail thefts here in the city are skyrocketing. We've all seen the videos of brazen cases of apparent shoplifting over and over and over again.
It didn't take long. Within the first hour of being at Walgreens on Geary Boulevard and 17th Avenue in San Francisco, we witnessed multiple shoplifters.
We've seen the viral videos of shoplifters looting stores in the Bay Area.
Authorities say they are organized gangs of criminals who sell the merchandise to a fencing operation.
Piles of unopened medication. How about the pods? Those are 5? Cosmetics, laundry detergent, and razors. How much for the razor? The deals are astonishing.
You go to places like New York City and San Francisco, and stores just can't survive because people are just saying enough is enough, and they're in survival mode, honestly. And I don't blame them, because places like that are just so astronomically expensive. You literally have to steal in order to stay alive, and it's sad. I've seen reports that things like the New York City subway, people are just not paying for their fare and they're evading it. And I wonder why, when you're charging congestion pricing and charging people up their butt just to drive into Manhattan, so people are just fed up with all the crap. What was it, last week? I guess there's some special piece of software that the automotive industry, or more specifically dealerships and auto mechanics and part suppliers use, and it was hacked.
The cyber attack that's crippled operations at thousands of car dealers in the last week. ABC's Alexis Christoforous is here with more. And Alexis, this has caused some serious problems. Good morning.
Serious is right. Good morning, Whit. If you had trouble getting something as simple as an oil change at your local car dealer this past week, you're not alone. A major auto industry software provider, CDK Global, says it was hit by back-to-back cyber attacks on Wednesday, crippling business at roughly 15,000 auto dealerships in the U.S. and Canada.
Not once, not twice, but I think 3 times. And, you know, I guarantee if you were to get a hold of whoever did it and ask them exactly why, well, one, there's a lot of personal data and personal information to steal out of dealerships, customer data and all of that kind of stuff. So, and that makes sense. And then they can sell it on the black market to, again, provide for themselves and their family. So, I don't know. It's just gotten to the point where people are just shutting down the car industry. Everything is just falling apart rapidly. And it's sad to say, I don't think this country is ever going to come back. This is part of the reason why I'm documenting retail at a very rapid pace, even though the videos that I'm making are not paying for the expense of travel or maintenance on my car or anything. I'm literally at a net loss doing this, but I'm documenting all of this stuff at a very rapid pace because things are going to start disappearing very quickly. We're seeing all kinds of restaurant chains close. We're seeing malls shut down. Just national chains are shutting down because people are just so fed up and don't have any more money to spend. And you can only squeeze so much juice out of the fruit before it runs out. I'm sorry, that's how it is. If you're a believer in Jesus and you read things like Revelation and you study up on it, everything aligns. And I don't want to be one of those, oh no, he's the Jesus freak that's just going to ramble on about, you know, God and Jesus and all that. But there, you know, there's proof. There's proof whether you want to believe it or not. So I don't know. I think I'm going to sign off. I'm done with my little ramble here. And you all have a very blessed rest of your day and enjoy the rest of the mall video. All right, guys, so I'm sorry if I just kind of rambled on in this video, but it's just been bothering me for a long time as to the direction that this country is going economically, spiritually, just in all aspects of life, just the direction. We're funding wars that aren't even ours, sending billions of dollars over there when the people on our streets are starving to death. We're shopping at giant shopping malls like this, spending thousands of dollars in credit, racking up credit debt, and for what? Eventually it's just gonna crash. I don't understand the logic of people like here. I mean, we are letting thousands and thousands of illegal immigrants into our country and paying them money to live here, putting them up in fancy hotels, forcing people to give over their houses to let these illegal immigrants live in their houses rent-free. I don't understand, and yet our government is doing nothing to help its own people and its own economy. Just print more money, inflate. So, I don't know. The only answer that I can say that's going to save this country is, unfortunately, well, for me, fortunately, it's God. But for all of you that don't believe, unfortunately, I'm sorry I don't have a better answer, but give it a shot. What do you got to lose, you know? Ever since I've trusted in God and put my faith in Jesus, it has been a game changer. I would not turn back. It's not an easy walk, but it's definitely a better walk. I want to thank all of you for joining me on this adventure to check out this very bougie shopping mall here in the Nashville area and to listen to me just kind of blabber on about nonsense. I mean, it's very relevant to current times. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe, and please support my content by becoming a member on YouTube or Patreon. The links are on the screen and in the description box below. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you on the next episode.